Shares of Booking Holdings trading a little lower this morning. This is the parent to travel brands Priceline and Kayak. They beat expectations on both the top and the bottom lines, but the company adjusted full-year gross bookings and its revenue outlook. They're holding off on what they're going to be saying about that because of the economic uncertainty that's out there. Joining us right now is Glenn Fogel. He is Booking Holdings CEO. And Glenn, great to see you this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for having me, Becky. Good morning.
Good morning. So it looked like you had very strong numbers from my read of this. You were beating expectations, both in terms of the top line, the bottom line. Even the gross bookings that you were watching, that number slightly beat expectations as well. But I think people are used to you guys beating on those booking nights by a big margin. And maybe that's what some of the analysts have complained a little bit about. What do you say to anybody who's saying, well, usually they guide higher?
Well, I really can't say what goes into people's minds. We come out with some guidance. We beat it. We're pretty pleased. I mean, I thought those numbers were very, very good. We talked about last night, first quarter, that we've done over 300 million room nights. We did 319. Fantastic. That's at the top of our list of things. I think go all the way to the bottom. Adjusted EPS coming in a 22% increase. Very happy about that, too. So either way, great quarter. And I understand some people are a little concerned about what the future is. What we said was, in terms of the full year, what we said is we're keeping where we were at the top end, but we're widening the range for uncertainty. So we're saying that we're still saying for the future, for the full year, EPS, mid double-digit numbers at top. We widen it out a little bit to low double digit. So that's not coming out with something. That's recognizing that there could be some uncertainty. By the way, we're not really seeing it yet. We started the whole call with saying, hey, we're seeing steady travel globally, albeit some parts of the world, like the U.S., maybe having a little bit of a softer time. But for us, we're very global.
Well, that's what I was really going to try and dig into. Yesterday, we had a lobbyist for the U.S. travel industry who basically came in and said things are falling apart. You've seen some weakness in the United States, but because of your international bent, does that get made up for in other places? Worldwide, are people still traveling just as much and booking out?
Yeah, we're still very pleased. And we talked a little bit about the regional growth rates in terms of our quarter. And we talked about, and we break it out into the U.S. was the softest. And then you look at Europe and Asia, we was the next level up. We were doing high single digits, but the rest of the world, we're doing low double digits. So yeah, other parts of the world are doing fine. I understand, and certainly we'd like the U.S. to be doing better too, but because we're so global, we get a benefit. So if a Canadian, for example, says, I don't want to go to the U.S., and they go to Mexico instead, well, we'll still get that booking. And it's still going to show up on our P&L, albeit not so great for the hotelier in the U.S., though.
Are you seeing that sort of strength because you are gaining market share, or because you really think the macroeconomic global view is one that hasn't been effective when it comes to travel?
Well, I think they're both. Well, I definitely believe that we're gaining share. That's great. And we've been doing that for many, many quarters. So that's going as we've done in the past. The rest of the world still looking steady. Obviously, we are far beyond when we came out of pandemic with those roaring numbers that were fantastic. But of course, they're against no travel, so kind of infinite growth for some points. I still believe at the end of the day, people are always going to want to travel. In some parts of the world, travel's the number one thing almost they want to do. You go to a European, maybe they'll have some economic problem, but they're not cutting back on their holidays until that's the last thing they're going to want to cut.
Hey, Glenn, what do you do with AI? I know you guys have incorporated a lot of the AI aspects into your different services, but when you've got ChatGPT or another one of these AI services that you can go on and try and book the travel yourself, how do you compete against that?
Well, it's not really competition. It's actually cooperation. I think, Becky, you're aware that we were one of the founding partners with OpenAI on what they call their operator system, where together somebody goes to ChatGPT and using their operator system can get a booking directly that goes through us. Now, I'll admit, it's fairly clunky right now, very, very in the beta world. And we're doing that with other people too. We're doing that with Microsoft and their Copilot one. We have that one signed up. We have another deal set up with Alexa Plus, that's the Amazon one. And we're dealing with all the major players in the Valley on the generative AI thing that you're talking about. But additionally, we're building our own thing that's going to be a domain-specific. This is for travel, a vertically specific area, travel, using LLMs to create a better experience. So we're doing it in all different areas, along with making our business better using generative AI to be able to have a lot of soft cost savings inside the company.
Are those deals with all of the AI partners, are they exclusive deals, or does it just put you on equal footing with any other travel service that they may be using there as well?
Well, it depends on what the deal is with who the partner is. But of course, we always believe that we provide the best service. So even if it's a multi-party deal, we still believe that we will be providing the better service. Someone want to use our service to do the booking, the experience. Part of the biggest issue is trust. Do you trust that you're going to get the best deal, the greatest value, and do you trust that the partner on the other side is going to provide, if anything goes wrong, the help that you need when something does go wrong?
But Glenn, here's the thing, and I don't know if I inspired some of this question because I was telling Becky just yesterday that I now find myself living inside a lot of these LLMs, either ChatGPT or sometimes Claude or whatever, and I get into these conversations with it, and instead of, and I might start having a conversation about travel or, I don't know, what I need to bring or just like getting ideas about stuff, and then all of a sudden I'll say, hey, by the way, I need to book this, or tell me what are the best flights for this, or this, and I'm already there. And so the question is whether you think that these services, and I know you're going to partner with them, but there's a level at which at some point they could ultimately disintermediate some of this because they're going to send you direct, I imagine, to the airline, or they're going to send you direct to the hotel in a different way.
Yeah, Andrew, that's something that people have been talking about. And by the way, they talked about that with Google. Isn't Google going to disintermediate you 15 years ago? And when we first started, they said, yeah, you have a website, but aren't the hotels going to build their own websites? Aren't people going to go directly to there? So this is not something new that I haven't heard before. The truth is, travel is incredibly complex, and it really takes a lot of expertise to actually execute travel. So for us, we don't ignore the fact that this is a threat that we have to deal with, but we believe in the long run, people are always going to want to go to the place that's going to provide them the most value. And again, that trust issue with a brand. So yes, somebody may be concerned that people are going to end up disintermediating the OTAs. I don't think that's going to happen. In fact, I see it as more of an opportunity for us, where in the past, we used to have to get a lot of customers just from Google because Google was the only player in town. Now there are going to be a lot of different players where people are going to be going to, and that will provide more supply, better competition for us to not have to pay so much to get a customer to come to us.
Glenn, very quickly, we have to go, but who do you have exclusive deals with these AI components?
Yeah, and you won't be surprised, Becky. I'm not going to talk about specifics as to which deals with one. I do believe but I do believe that we have some very good transactions coming. And by the way, coming out with our own kayak.ai. We just launched that. I highly suggest anybody who uses Kayak at all, check that one out too.